Oi, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, loves. So this is Global Mike Reed here at the amazing Svinefellsjökull Glacier. We have Polly, our special guest, on the side over here. There he is. So we're going to go through a 6-to-1 drop loop system. And this is a pretty traditional system taught by the Association of Icelandic Mountain Guides here in Iceland and Hard Ice 101, which is the basic glacier guiding course. Uses a lot of prussiks, a lot of ATC, so it's a very easy and cheap system. Great to know. Definitely a go-to system for all the guides we have here. So we're going to go through that system and learn how to put it up, kind of bomb-proof it a little bit so we know what we're doing. So we're going to start. Now the first thing we're going to get ready, my personal anchor. So I'm just going to take some, first make a figure 8 on a bite here, which everyone knows how to do. Just make sure to refresh your knots if you don't. The challenge is to make a clean knot every time, baby. Okay, I'm going to put it on the edge. I want it there, basically right there. Now, I'm going to take my carabiners. One of these carabiners is going from my personal anchor down here into my ice screw. Okay, I'm going to clove hitch that. Put that down for a second. Okay. Good to go. I'm just going to attach the end here to myself as my personal anchor. Okay, just give it a quick measurement, see how it is. Looks a tiny bit long. We're going to take out maybe a meter roughly. Now this may take some time, but it's also super important. So I'm just going to take out some of that slack here. Maybe a tiny bit short now, but that's going to be okay. Yeah, so that's a much better personal anchor there. So at this point, what I'm going to do now is make that figure 8 on a bite on the focal point carabiner here. Put that up. Clean knot every time, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Put that on here. Lock that beaner there. Gonna make the butterfly. Okay, super useful knot here. Put it through. Okay, that's done. I'm gonna go to the edge. I'm gonna check on my victim, see how he's doing. Beatrice, how you doing, man?
Fine.
Nice. You're welcome. So I'm gonna lower some rope down to him. Once it gets down to him, I may go past him by just a little bit. Okay, now it's down to him. What I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna turn this over because I'm gonna make the system on this side so you can see it. Put that figure 8 on a bite on the end here. It's going for a record. Oh, it's dirty knot. No, it's not gonna be dirty. It's not gonna be dirty. I don't like my dirty knots. All right, this has to be fixed a lot. Clean knot every time. Almost every time. Okay, so now I'm gonna just pop this carabiner in that figure 8. Okay, so let's take a look at this for 1 second. We have the line here that's going from the focal point carabiner down. Okay, now I have the butterfly line coming off the butterfly, as you can see here, going down. I'm going down on the butterfly line, so we'll do that right now. Got the ATC, but first I'm going to extend this. I'm going to extend it because I need to use a hollow block, and I'm going to block it so I can let go and I can still work, so it's going to hold my weight. You'll see that in 1 second as to why that works and how that works. So just take your 120 centimeter sling. Now what I do, first I'm going to double it up here. Okay, now I'm going to girth hitch it to myself. Now this is a little challenging if you don't have good dexterity with thick gloves on, as I do not right now, but nonetheless, I'm going to do it nonetheless. It's going through. Oh, can it go? Can it go? Yes, it can. Okay, so that's going to be girth hitched right there. So now, that is girth hitched to me. Okay, excellent. Now we're going to move on. So now we have that ATC we just talked about a second ago. That's going to just go on the line. Now I'm going to go down on the butterfly. We just talked about doing that. Going to pop that in there. Put that in here. So that's on. Next step, we have to put a hollow block. Okay, just twist this. Of course, cold, you lose dexterity. The benefits of working in the cold. Now I still have my personal anchor on just in case I want to go check over the edge, but I'm not going to, but it's always good to keep on. And watch your carabiners where you put them. Don't drop your carabiners. Right? If you drop them, you lose them, according to Hard Ice 101. Or Hard Ice 102, actually. So now pop your hollow block on there. 3 wrap prussik. 1, 2, and a third. Just clean that prussik up a little bit and make sure it's nice and tight. Excellent. Now some people put this hollow block on their leg loop. I like to put it on my belay loop, full strength. Much safer, I think. Okay, now I'm connected, so I feel safe with the system. It's on the butterfly here. I'm going to disconnect from my personal anchor. I'm going to take this carabiner with me. I'm going to use it down there. I'll show you why. Okay, so now I have the stuff I need. What I'm going to do now is start to descend down to my victim. And there he is. Okay. So, we're going to use a pulley down here. Everyone should have a pulley in their kit. I'm going to also have this small prussik here. Attach that carabiner. We want to save that for later. I'm just going to extend this pulley. Put that pulley on the line. Grab that carabiner. Put that carabiner there. Make sure it's nice and safe. I'm going to put it just down here for a second on this victim. Just check them out. The victim looks to be okay. I'm going to put this prussik on the line here. Now notice where I'm going to put it. So I'm not going to put it on my line. I'll come down on this butterfly line. He's going to be on this line, which is that static line we talked about. The butterfly, this is not the butterfly line. This is the opposite line. I'm going to put that prussik on this line here. 3 wrap prussik. And that means Beata agrees with me. I'm actually leaning into my microphone. My microphone fell because I'm leaning into it. Oh, damn it, Beata. Ruined everything. I'm joking. Alright, so my microphone fell. Sorry for the static if you heard any. Moving on with life. Alright, so now we have that 3 wrap prussik going in there. Looking good. I'm just going to attach that to here. Okay. Going to bring that down. Attach that 3 wrap prussik right there. Close that carabiner. Now let's just see how it works. I'm going to give it a quick test. Okay, so I'm just going to pull it this way. Okay, carabiner locked. Give a little pull up. Okay, looks like it's holding well right there. So now he's on. Now I did that for 2 reasons. One, I want to check it. But the second, he's not going to go further down. So that looks like a pretty treacherous drop. So he's pretty secure here right now. I just did a test. So we're good on that. Now what I have to do is set up my ascension system. So what I'm going to do is here I have my prussik line. I'm going to take out that prussik line, unwrap it. Now I'm not going to unwrap the entire thing just for speed. I'll show you why. I'm going to start the wrap. Of course, 3 wrap prussik. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. Okay, now, and look how easy that was. Bang, now it comes down. Okay, just check that 3 wrap prussik. Everything looks good about the 3 wrap prussik here. Bunch that together, clean up the knot a little bit. Okay, just let me look at it now. See what needs to be cleaned about that knot. Okay, knot's good. Now we're gonna do the don't forget me knot. You shouldn't forget this knot because it's super helpful on the top. Gonna pull that through. Okay, pull that down. Now the next thing we're gonna do, now I'm not gonna bring this through my belay loop. I'm just gonna make a leg loop out of this, down to my knee. Gonna tie that off because I wanna take this off from the top very quickly. Now just for safety, this is an added feature that I started doing. I'm just gonna put this through my belay loop, a carabiner. Okay, this can act in case I fall or something happens with my ATC. This will come up just like that and hold me. Okay, but I can easily disconnect it when I get to the top. So it's super useful to disconnect. I need to. I'm gonna bring that down a tiny bit. This needs to go in block mode right now. So I have that last carabiner, I'm gonna connect it to that. I'm gonna get ready to pull. So when I come down, I'm gonna pull it in block mode. So that's there. I'm gonna put my foot in this loop here. Okay, now I'm gonna slowly pull up on that. I'm gonna grab this in a block mode, just like that. Now it is in block mode, okay? Now a few things you're gonna notice. First, let me just pull up this thing here. Okay, so now we have block mode. So now I have this hollow block. I can take off the hollow block. Don't need that anymore. I'm gonna put that, gonna rack that here, take off this hollow block. Now I'm gonna put this carabiner for the hollow block in the don't forget me spot. And I'm going to rack this hollow block on the non-locking carabiner, which I use for racking. That's just going to go here for later. It's much easier just to put that there now. Okay, so now we're good. We're not using this, so it's unlocked. But check this out, what I can do, super cool. That goes right here. Okay, bang. And now it's locked. Now what that does, that allows me to pull up on the ATC, take out the slack as I'm going up the rope super fast. Okay, so I'm just going to pull that down a tiny bit, get in my system, get ready to ascend. Okay, so now I'm just going to ascend a little bit, bring that up, ascend, bring that up some more. Pull that up. Now you're basically at the edge. Just take your foot out of there, just pull on it, and I can just literally walk up. Okay, very easy just to walk up. I'm still attached, so I'm still safe. Just gonna give it a quick spring up, just like that. Now, how you doing, Beata? Good? Okay. Now I'm gonna go to my personal anchor, attach this back. Okay, but first, it's gonna disconnect. I'm not gonna disconnect from the rope completely yet. It's gonna disconnect this one holding to my prussik. My ATC is still in block mode. Now it's attached. So now I can disconnect my stuff, take off the block mode, rack that carabiner, take this off, rack this carabiner, just like that. That's still attached to the sling. Gonna rack that, leave that down there, and that's fine, don't worry about that. Now I'm just gonna quickly now disconnect this. No overhand to untie. Check this out. That is disconnected. I'm gonna pop that don't forget me in there because we don't want to forget it. Okay, now we're gonna use that ATC in a second, but check this out. So I'm attached to my personal safety. I'm good to go. I'm going to go to the edge now. Now since he's attached to that 2-to-1 system, that pulley and that prussik, I can pull him up right now on the edge of a 2-to-1, and I'm attached to this safety. Just gonna check on him, see how he's doing. He's doing good. Give him 1 or 2 pulls because he has to disconnect himself. Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good. That's it. Disconnect.
All right. He's just disconnecting now. So let's say in the meantime I got gassed out. I'm pretty tired. This is too hard. What I have to do, I'm going to set up this ATC now in block mode. I'm going to grab the ATC. Now just to be nice to the company gear, right? Switch your carabiners. You have this metal carabiner here. Use that. So I'm just going to switch carabiners real quick. Pop that metal one on. Okay. All right, so now what I'm gonna do, so I already have a carabiner here. Now, once again, I'm disconnecting the other side, the butterfly, okay, because he's on this static. He's still on this static right now. I'm just gonna pull some slack out of that. I'm gonna use this later, so let's just pull that down. Okay, pull that slack out. Okay, now it's basically there. So what I'm gonna do now, a little pro tip. So when we attach this ATC, I'm gonna attach the ATC so the black loop or the metal loop is toward me. Why? Because you'll see in a second, it's much easier to make the 3-to-1 like that. Okay, now I'm just gonna attach that, lock my carabiners, click check, good to go. Okay, now check this out, 3-to-1, super simple. Pulling that down, putting my rope into the don't forget me knot, locking that biner, and we are almost in a complete 3-to-1 system. Going to the edge, gonna check on my victim. You doing good? Nice. And he says always and forever. And I'm just gonna gonna pull him up right now. Okay, now go back down, reset that. Just thumb out that prussik a little bit. Pull that prussik down as much as you can to the edge because you're connected by safety. Don't go to the edge without this on. Now I'm going to go back to where I was. Just get some pulling in. Some good morning exercise. The reason we keep this attached to us, I just may want to check on him now. Look over the edge, check out the system. He looks okay, he's coming up. Everything looks like it's working fine. Good to go. How you feeling? Okay? Fantastic. Back to your position again. Okay, now watch the edge. Don't just drag him over. If he's in obvious distress or something's wrong, just kind of get him over, and then you could help him up maybe, or help carry him. Don't drag him across the ice if necessary. Okay, so he's over the edge. Now at this point I would just get him away from the edge. So I'm just going to walk him over here. Looks to be in good spirits. You just step over here for a second. Now you just want to really quick pull everything really hard. No. So that's the basic system at this point. You know, you could administer first aid if there's any obvious breaks or any bruises. Run through your system of airway, breathing, circulation, disability, expose. See how they're doing. Beyond that, it looks pretty good. Search and rescue, or you probably called belay by now, our guide and everything to be. But yeah, so that's our 6-to-1 drop loop system. Super fast, using the traditional prussik ATC carabiner setup. Not into the mechanical stuff yet, but I hope you enjoyed that. Hope it was helpful. Until next time, this is Mike. He's a little tired right now. Björn, the
Am I heavy?
B-dog we call him, and Pale.
Not as heavy as Björn.
Yes, not as heavy as Björn, as Pale says.
No, okay.
All right, we call actually Björn is Chocolate Man now. You're Chocolate Man. Deuces.